My name is Raghav and I want to talk about Beyond the Infinite 2 Minutes. Beyond the Infinite 2 Minutes is a 2020 Japanese science fiction comedy film written by Makoto Ueda and shot and directed by Junta Yamaguchi in his directorial debut. This movie is really cool. It's a low-budget, simple story with a very interesting premise shot in a long take style, which means the camera doesn't cut the whole movie. We just follow the characters in real time as they move through the plot. The long take style, or Nagamawashi, is a microgenre of mostly low-budget one-shot Japanese films that have gained popularity after the success of One Cut of the Dead in 2017. Of course, there are little tricks here and there which mask the actual cuts that are in the movie to make it seem like an actual real take, and most of them are pretty seamless and kind of ordinary, just basic wipes or pan away to something, but one shot in particular is super jarring. The film is shot digitally, and there is a scene where the camera zooms into a box or something and the camera is simply not able to autofocus. It looks weird and blurry and grainy, and then suddenly it's in focus and clearly we're in a new shot. It's the only instance where I feel the filmmakers got a little too ambitious, but it is a debut, it's low budget, it's forgivable. The movie is still pretty good. The premise of the movie is that cafe owner Kyoto discovers his room's computer monitor shows a live feed of what's happening through the perspective of the TV in his cafe. But what it shows is 2 minutes in the future, and the TV in the cafe shows the monitor's perspective but 2 minutes into the past. The computer is brought down to face the television, creating a Drost effect, allowing the characters to see several minutes into the future. The Drost effect is the effect of a picture recursively appearing within itself, often in a way that suggests an infinitely recurring sequence. A common example is the visual experience of standing between two mirrors. As a result, seeing an infinite reproduction of one's image. But imagine if one reflection showed you 2 minutes in the future and the other 2 minutes in the past. Hence, the reflections further down the sequence will show you several minutes into the future, as far as your eye can see. Anyway, the most interesting and compelling part of the film is how this plays out. The film takes its time, showing us one perspective with characters speaking to their future selves through one screen, then moving to the other screen to interact with their past selves, all in a seemingly single take, with the actors doing a really good job of mimicking their own performances to sell the effect. You see, because they have to repeat how they did it in the previous shot, down to their minute performance choices. It's quite effective and makes the movie very interesting and compelling. All the performances are solid and the plot is very straightforward and uncomplicated, making for a generally entertaining movie. The story itself isn't like gonna blow your mind, but the idea and the presentation is what really works. Overall, I found it to be a fun movie, although I do have one complaint. It's a very male-heavy film, and the only two female characters don't have a ton going on, character or writing-wise. Both of them are interesting actors and their performances are believable, but I wish they hadn't been reduced to just like bubbly friend and love interest roles. The character of Megumi, who is the love interest, literally does nothing other than act likable and then become the damsel in distress. The main dude's character has a full-fledged hero's arc, which is kind of epic by the end of it, and the other characters are all unique, interesting, and have little quirks that sort of set them apart. And honestly, you could have saved a bit of that character development for the ladies of your story too. I think the film focused a lot on its premise and sort of let everything else fall to the wayside, which is something that I will forgive considering it is a debut. Hopefully the director's newest film, River, learns from his earlier missteps and moves forward, because there's no time like the present. See what I did there?